Hey y'all, it's Gera. I was just hopping on real quick to let you guys know that first off, I want to thank y'all for your patience. I know we haven't posted in a while. There's a few reasons why. I moved to LA. I'm here. I've been living in LA for like 4 months now. This episode was supposed to be posted in May. I posted the audio, but I didn't post the video because the video takes longer and I was having issues with like the size of it. Like I was having issues with my video editing software thing, whatever. But yeah, and I had to move a lot faster than I thought I was gonna move. Things just came together really fast, and then I spent a lot of money. Like I had to buy a new like a used car, like a cash car, because my Subaru, I had a Subaru in Dallas and it was not gonna make it to LA. And then I had to buy like $1,000 cash car. It's old, but it worked and it got me here. I had to give away all of my furniture. So I had to buy things once I got here. I spent so much money, like I had to work. Like I was like, once I get over there, I have to work. We took a break and I worked to make up for some of the money that I lost or that I spent. I don't have sheets on my bed. That's because they're in the washer. I promise I have sheets. I'm washing them right now. They're dirty. I was also trying to just enjoy my summer. We're not sponsored by anyone. If we were sponsored, I think I would have been like a little bit more like rushed. But we're not sponsored by anyone. I'm funding this myself. So I was like, I'm just gonna take a break. I'm gonna enjoy my summer in LA. I've been wanting to live here forever. I just wanna thank y'all for your patience. Thank you for allowing me to enjoy my summer in a new city. Thank you to Robert. He's one of the listeners. He reached out to me on Instagram and gave me this bed frame. He gave me the dresser that goes with it too. It's a Tuma bed frame, guys. That's expensive. So thank you so much. He also gave me the underbed drawer. So thank you so much, Robert. That means a lot to me. I love you. But yeah, I love you guys too. I love all of y'all. Thank you so much for your patience. If you haven't subscribed to our Patreon and our Ko-fi, please do that because that will help us. Because like I said, we're not sponsored. So the reason why I had to work a lot this summer was also because I was like, I need money so that I can start up the podcast again. Because it takes time, it takes money. Our studio guy would give us a really good deal, but he moved. He left Chicago already, and I go to Chicago once a month for work, and that's when I record with Omar. But now I had to find a brand new studio. Like we did one more episode with him. That's gonna be our next one, and then the one after that will be in our new studio. But yeah, if you could subscribe to our Patreon or our Ko-fi, whichever one you want. Patreon is $3, $5, or $10 a month. Ko-fi is whatever you want to pay a month. That would really help us. Even if it's just $3 a month, 100 people, that's $300. That's like that. Depending on the studio we go to, it'll cover like the majority, if not the entire amount of hours that we need in the studio. Thank you for allowing me to have a good summer. And thank you for still sticking around. Anyway, I think that's it. I hope y'all enjoy the show.
Anyway,
X or Kelly Clarkson.
I feel like I'm losing my voice or something, but I don't know.
Calm down, Ariel. No, I'm just kidding. But since she gave her voice. You feel like under the weather, or
I feel like I'm. First of all, y'all are still cold, and that's a problem for me. Like I don't do the cold for this long, and this is why when you're like, "Oh, I would never move to LA," I'm like, "You're crazy."
I'm used to it, and I know like spring doesn't.
You don't get depressed?
No, I get like what do they say called seasonal depression, but you know. It just makes you appreciate, like, for example, today was sunny for a while. So it's like, I go out for a walk, it's chilly, but you're just like, the trees are blooming, the birds are chirping, and it's amazing. Like, I just get so much joy out of that. And it still be cold, we get this period where we just go back and forth. But honestly, like, actual spring, summer, and fall, it's worth it. Like, you adapt. Like, it's great to be indoors. We have so much shit to do. You don't really, doesn't matter the season, it's a party.
Oh my God, I forgot my little card.
But yeah, no, I think, I mean, we get used to the cold. I mean, I've been in Dallas, like, on the heat, and I'm just like, I don't, like, you can't be outside. So it's like the winter here. Like, you can't be outside. It's too cold. So I feel like you guys get about the same time we
No,
do.
we don't.
No?
No, girl. We get a rough summer,
Pero
but
no hay nada que
we get
hacer.
3 months. No, pues sí.
You know, like,
Eso sí.
that's not, I think that's like,
Okay, I'm gonna let you
like,
read
I
it.
think that's why it's like, because I love telling, when there was an episode that you and Javi were going off in Dallas, and I was like, estúpida. I was like, I'm not even from there, and I actually, like, I don't feel like I love Dallas.
The thing is that, here's the thing, and I get a lot of people get confused by this. I am hard on Dallas because I expect more from the community that I came from. That's why. Because, like, it has so much potential and it doesn't live up to the potential sometimes. And, like, it's not really about the city itself. It's more about the people there and how they choose to interact with each other.
Also because you're so close to Mexico.
Whenever I talk about Dallas, I'm spanking it with my words.
Yeah.
Because it needs to, like, wake up a little bit. Like, there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of women there that are doing a lot of great things. There's a lot of gay men there that are doing problematic things.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of straight men there that are doing terrible things. And so I really want to see more. Chicago, the thing is that you don't get it. Because Chicago...
Because we got it.
Yeah, in Chicago, you have a really strong community. And I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
When someone does something wrong, everybody
we all show up.
Immediately shows up.
We're just like, what did they say?
Yeah.
What did they do?
Yeah.
Homa poodle.
In Dallas, that's not true. But we're not here to talk about that.
That's right.
We're here to talk about
adulthood. Being grown.
Grown-ass men.
Grown-ass gay men.
In a world that's falling apart.
Yes. Do you like being an adult? Like, was it all you? Was it when you were a kid?
That's
actually,
a good
this is a question.
Do I like it?
Did you look forward to adulthood when you were a kid? Like, was that something like, oh, I can't wait to make my own decisions? And
I mean, I think I just looked forward to surviving my childhood.
You're just like, I can't wait to get out of here.
I don't know. I guess when you're a kid, there's times where you're like, I want to be 30. I want to be 21. I want to be driving. But it's like more so, I would think I was just having fun imagining stuff.
Yeah. And what, like, it would be. Yeah.
Did you look forward to being an adult as a kid?
So funny thing, I was like, my idea of adulthood, I was like 23, I'm gonna be married. You know, I kind of thought, and I thought you became an adult at like 18 immediately. And
I mean, it's one thing to be an adult, it's another thing to be a gay adult.
Yeah. Right. Because
like a gay adult, we still have a lot more fun than a straight adult.
Oh, 100%. Period. But it comes at a cost. Well, not a cost, because they're like, for example, when you come out, right? Like, you're able to be your authentic self, and so therefore you kind of stop pretending to be the adult that society raised you to believe that you should be, and you start being the adult you actually, you know, it just becomes intuitive to really shape the person that you want it to be.
Yeah, but we also have a lot more sex than straight adults. Yeah, and we have we travel more than straight adults. We have a lot more fun than straight adults.
You know, that reminds me,
we're more free.
Yes.
Our ideas of like relationships are much more fluid.
Right.
Our ideas of like friendships are a lot less, because like straight adults in their relationships, like the woman will get mad if he's like out with a woman friend, right?
Yeah, whereas there's so many rules. There's so much rules, which is kind of nice. You kind of have a path laid out, some guidance.
No, it's not.
And you're right, and it's boring because it's just
it's boring.
Been indoctrinated to follow that path, and while it's tougher to navigate things as a gay adult,
it is tougher.
As a person of the LGBTQ plus, you know. it takes a little bit more work, but it's worth it because you have to also undo all the
things that
things that they
you.
taught you,
Mhm.
and the adversities of having to shape your own path. Like it just instinctively, just once you're comfortable with yourself and you're being your authentic self, you do see the benefit of like this is gonna be put me in uncomfortable situations, but it's gonna put me in the path that I feel is right for me. Versus then like I should do this and then this, and it's there's no order.
Being straight is boring. Being a straight adult is boring.
Yeah, and to all the
I think it's their karma for making fun of gay kids when they're kids.
Well, how
like
many?
they make fun of us when we're children, but then we have more fun when we're adults than they do. And I think that kind of checks out. I think it's karma. I think I'm okay with that.
I think I do feel some sort of I can never say this word, camaraderie. I feel some type of empathy, or I feel bad for many straight people just because I see them trapped in this cycle of everybody does this is how it should be. And also it's pressure. And then they see us and people can go one route where they're like, that's cool, that's great for them, and I should try to like emulate that. And of course anything positive. And then you might have them to be like, that's wrong, that's why they're indoctrination and going to hell.
They hate us because they ain't us,
right? And it's like,
I mean, we push the world forward. Queer people really make the world what it is.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a world without queer people? Could you imagine that?
There'd be no,
oh my god,
what would there be? Football? Just
and, like,
football?
Everything would be gray.
Yeah, like the music. Can you imagine how lame it is?
Oh my god,
it would be. The clothes.
Lady Gaga wouldn't exist.
No modern.
There
century.
was no. Yeah, Madonna would have failed, and she would be working at like a Baskin Robbins right now as a manager. Could you imagine that? Without us,
at a Wendy. No. You know what? And that's actually kind of scary to think, just because you look at world history.
Whitney Houston wouldn't have existed. Oh, I'm sorry. I just shook the
Juan
table.
Gabriel.
I'm sorry.
Ana Gabriel. All the Gabriels.
I almost passed out right now just thinking about it.
We're very influential in the culture.
I mean, not just influential.
The Catholic Church wouldn't be here.
Especially, more than anyone, Black queer people have created more like gay culture. You know what I mean? Like voguing, like our slang, everything. So queer people, especially Black queer people, like historically, I mean, you could look it up. You know what I mean? They come up with a lot of even just the slang and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like crazy. We would not be here. There would be this world would be boring.
It's like,
when did you realize you were an adult?
So
did you ever did you have a moment?
No. Well, actually, yeah. Once you started paying your own bills, you're like, oh, fuck, this is not as fun.
Actually, for me, it was
like,
more,
I can't wait to get my phone. And then you get the bill and you're like, oh, like every month?
Yeah.
It's like having a financial period.
I think I realized I was an adult when I just stopped caring.
What is adulthood for you?
I went into a gas station the other day and I farted out loud in front of everyone. And I just didn't even care anymore. I was just like, fuck everyone.
Were you like, this is me?
I was like, and then after, when I walked out, I was like, yeah, I think I'm an adult now. Because I was just like, I don't care. Like, I farted, y'all.
But that's,
I didn't even look around.
Mm-hmm.
I just kept scanning the fridge for like the protein shake I wanted, and I picked it out and I walked away.
Yeah. I think that's a very good trait of like adulthood, that you just accept life and you continue.
Yeah.
You don't sit there and
like I was just like, it's just like at this point,
who's gonna smell me, boo?
I was just like, but I think when I realized I was becoming an adult was my friend Ryan, who is like probably the one person I know that has his shit together more than anyone else that I know. And he was like, we were talking one day. I had just moved into my own place when I had my own apartment. I'm with a roommate now, but when I had my own apartment, and he was like, Gerardo, he was like, out of all my friends, I think you're the only one. I think you're the one that I think has adjusted to becoming an adult, like, better than everyone. Like, that has done the best
How
job.
old were you at the time?
26,
Wow.
27. And
seems pretty.
Yeah, and I was like, really?
Because that's the
And
age
he was
that
like, yeah. And I was like, oh. And he was like, yeah, no, you've done well. And I was like, okay.
And what when you say that you feel that he was kind of the one that you looked and thought it was more of a solid adult, like having his shit together. Because I have a thing about I always like to see people as, you know, we're whole beings, so you can't be everything at once, right? Because I see many people that are like great career, great at their jobs, you know, financially stable, you know, they have activities, they have friends, but maybe like there's, you know, internal, or they're very immature, or they can deal with like friendships, or there's usually it's never all. And, you know, you have some people that it fluctuates, like you fuck up in some things and then you fix one thing and then something else is, you know, lacking.
mean, I don't think
is he like, do you think he's pretty, or was it just more maturity?
It's more like he's smart, he's financially stable, he has a career, and he's not a messy bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's
because
not
there's
a messy
so
bitch.
many people out there behaving like kids.
He's good at discipline.
Yes.
He's good at watching his health.
Yeah.
He's good at watching his dogs. He knows when to stop partying and when to party. He knows when to, like, he has a partner. They're very happy. It's like very much like, okay, you got it, girl.
Yeah.
I mean, she's still a little rough around the edges. No offense, Ryan. She still has, everybody has shit to work. I mean, you never stop working on shit in your life. And no adult has it together 100%.
No. And that's the fun thing about being an adult. Like, well, for me, it's like I'm always on the quest of like learning more. Like, it's like even when we were talking about like financial stability, like that only, it's like 50% is on you, 50% is on the market, on whatever industry you're in, or whatever. It's just that the beautiful thing about being an adult, and it gets easier, is once you accept you're not everything is your fault and you're not in control of everything, which is when I was a kid, I think it was more of as a teen, but I'm a middle child, so I think I was always the adult in the room.
Oh, really?
Well, you know, it's kind of, and also, like, I started working early in my teens, and you know, since my dad passed at a young age, you know, you kind of feel that like responsibility. I felt like a certain level of responsibility that maybe, you know, my friends my age did not have. So I think I felt like an adult. I felt I had to be an adult at an early age, but I actually felt like an adult at around like 25, when I was like, I don't have to please anyone. I'm in control of my life. This is what it is, and I'm gonna make the best of it.
I still don't feel like an adult sometimes.
Well, it's good to, you know,
because like I have a lot of shit to get together, but I think I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
I mean, therapy, I'm definitely an adult in my emotionally sometimes.
Yeah, like the emotional maturity. Yeah.
Probably like a
Vote
good
in the comments.
80, 70% of the 75%.
Yeah.
Or like, maybe like 73% of the time. 75 and a half. 75.
You're getting too specific.
5%.
Yeah.
Nope. My gut is like, that's not true, and you need to be honest. 72.3333% of the time.
I'm not subtracting or adding what the difference was. 70% is pretty good. 70% plus.
72.
72.3. Yeah.
You know that decimal that repeats forever, the 0.3333?
Yeah.
Yeah, there.
Yeah, sometimes I have to deal with numbers at work, and when I see 323, I'm just like, oh shit, this is gonna fuck up the entire.
I feel like there's things that I'm still trying to figure out, but there's some things that I caught on to right away.
Yeah. Well, there's also stages, right? Like when you think of adulthood, it's like, okay, you have an idea, but now there's like, you know, midlife, or, you know, how they say late adulthood, or whatever the terms are now.
Well,
but
I wouldn't know because I'm not there yet.
But see, I have to. Now I'm well. like just when you're starting to feel like an adult, and I'm like, oh, I'm in my 30s, whatever. And then all of a sudden you start realizing, like, when 50, 60-year-olds look at you and you're like, oh, you're so young. And then 21, 18, 25-year-olds, they're like,
Bitch.
sir. And you're just like,
I'm like, yeah, like the other day
it throws me off. Like, I'm in that stage where it's like,
okay, the other day I met somebody who didn't know, who wasn't like 9/11. They weren't alive for 9/11. They weren't born yet.
yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And then I went to the bar and they had like a night where it was like 18 and up. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm gonna melt. I'm getting older. Like, I'm not the baby anymore. People used to be, oh, you're so
Such a
little.
baby.
Oh, you're the baby.
This is why
you're just 23.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why you have to hang out with like 50, 60-year-olds.
Yeah, I do. I make sure.
And it's also kind of concerning whenever I see like people that age hang out with like younger people, like willingly, like they don't want to hang out with people their age. One thing is to diversify. Like, you have different age groups you hang out with. Doesn't matter your age, you hang out with. That's great. But people who are like, no, I keep getting older and my group, my friends are staying at the same age. I'm like, it's like,
okay, yeah, it's,
you can't relate. Like,
it's time to
there's
get
different things going on in your life, so it's good to diversify, but not to.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's kind of hard for me to hang out with people who are too much younger, because it's hard. Because I want to be like, are you sure you want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of want to be like their dad. And I'm like, I can't be your dad. Like, I have to walk away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless you're into that. And you're of age. Like 18 and like 20.
We can't do. If you can't, even
well,
like,
I have
for
had
me
sex
now,
with an 18-year-old.
Yeah, I mean,
it's happened. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. He came like immediately, but like,
yeah. Also, it's also like emotional maturity. All that. I get it.
I wouldn't date like a 19-year-old. What's your sex limit? Your cutoff, yeah. Your age. What's your age cutoff?
Well, I would say just, if I can't take you to a bar, it's like no. But I don't know. But to me, it's always been about like connection, right? Like, if you're, because there's a lot of 30-something, 40, 50-something-year-olds that I'm like, what the fuck, are you 10?
See, when I was 18, I was having sex with people of all ages. Mm-hmm. And so I still don't discriminate.
Because we were all that, like,
but I'm like, but
yeah. The only thing is, like, now that I'm looking back at it, I'm like, holy shit! Like, I was a certain age dating someone a certain age, and I'm looking back at it, I'm like, I wouldn't do that. Like, get into a serious relationship with someone who's just figuring it's kind of,
I can't,
and it's not. I know there's always exceptions. It's not all the same, but
there's
personally having the experiences and the knowledge that I have today, I'm like, what the fuck would I talk to someone like, like, oh yeah, Pokemon, or if Hannah Montana was your Britney Spears, like, you're too young for me.
Oh no, I don't think that's like a thing. Is that a thing? Is Hannah Montana like a Britney Spears to someone? That's crazy, because even I respect Britney Spears enough more than Hannah Montana.
Also, shout out to Britney Spears. Keep twirling. If you want to come on the podcast. She hasn't done it. It would be nice if...
Bring your knives.
If you're not... Oh my God! Yes!
But yeah, no, I think what are some of the things you found like the easiest for like turning into an adult? Learning. I think, like, what did you learn like the easiest? What came naturally to you?
I think regulating...
especially being a queer Latino adult.
Yeah. Regulating my emotions.
That came easy for you?
Yeah, because this is my personal experience again. Middle child, wanting to be like the centering energy in the room. Yeah, like regulating my emotions. Like, I wouldn't act out. I was very responsible. Like, I've always been very responsible. You show up on time. You do what you're supposed to do. You follow the rules. If you're gonna break them, you make sure that you've calculated the consequences and you're willing to accept them. I mean, I wasn't a saint, but I wasn't. Nobody was ever having to deal with the consequences of my actions. So that was pretty easy for me.
I don't like rules, so I break them a lot.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot of lessons the hard way, especially with jobs. Like, I was always quitting my jobs or getting fired. I got fired from Forever 21 for stealing. I don't know. See, my view of the world is that as long as I don't hurt anyone, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Mhm.
So like, I will literally do whatever the fuck I want. But when I was younger, when I was starting, it was funny because when I was younger, I didn't care if I hurt someone if I got what I wanted.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Then I started thinking, I'm also really spiritual, so spirituality came natural to me. And I was just like, do I want to leave that behind? Like, do I want to continue to hurt people? And I just had to grow up. Like, I was like, I don't think that I want to continue like doing certain things that I know harm people just because it's good for me. You know what I mean?
I like that you mentioned spirituality because, I grew up like Catholic and very structured and very lot of rituals. And to me, it was kind of nice to be able to like, I don't have to go to church every Sunday. Like, I could just I was more focused on actually being a good person versus like, going to church, doing this, doing that.
Because the difference between religion and spirituality is that religion requires you to follow these really rigid guidelines that aren't always good for you. And like spirituality is more about how you heal the world around you. And so it's like, my therapist told me this. I remember she was like, I was going through it because, okay, so one of the things that came really hard for me was my spirituality. Actually, spirituality was easy for me, as in like the sense of like feeling like there was something more out there for me. But when it came to like my religion, because I grew up Christian and I was like a gay liberal Christian, because there's gay liberal Christians. There's still not. It's still not. They still have a lot of problematic things in their beliefs, but they're at least more liberal. And I had to abandon that.
Yeah.
When I started going to therapy, I started, because I'm good at educating myself. Like a lot of adults aren't, especially influencers and like people with like platforms and celebrities. They're really bad at educating themselves because they don't really care. And so one of the things that that did come naturally for me was maybe not following rules like you, but like for me, it was like, how do I educate myself to make the world a better place?
Yeah.
So I taught myself in my late 20s. I taught myself like, I read books on like oppression and racism and how does that work? You know what I mean? Like I started getting curious. I started looking things up. And that's why I tell people like, you have to be curious about everything in the world. Like anything that you don't understand, read a book about it or Google it. Because I'm like, when I started doing that, that's when I started actually becoming intelligent. Because I was like, oh, like I'm learning about all these topics. And one of the things is like, I looked up religion and what the fuck it was. And I looked up like the history of it. Like who put the Bible together? Who chose what went into the Bible? Who wrote the Bible? What words were translated from the Bible to English? How were they translated?
And that's like the worst thing you could, if you want to stay in a religion, the worst thing you could do is start asking questions.
Yeah. If you like your religion, don't ask questions and just follow the rules. But if you want to actually grow up, become an adult, ask questions, challenge everything. Someone tells you something's good, ask why. Someone tells you something's bad, ask why.
It's funny because
look up the history. Once you start looking up the history, things really start falling apart. Really quick.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things in organized religion that I just cannot get behind.
Me neither.
And it's just like, it's so much about judging and and looking at the bad, and nobody does the good, the good things about religion, what we should be preaching, and more than preaching, practicing. Religion for me was like a huge shaping force as a child, and letting go of that and becoming an adult, it was such I think it was like a really hard breakup, because you're like, what is next? Like, if I don't believe in this, then what do I believe in? So right now that you're saying about spirituality, like for example, like I've never connected with the word spirituality just because I just really don't understand it. I don't know what a good person is. I know the feeling I have when I know I'm doing something good, and when I hurt someone or when I do something bad, I've learned to not take it as guilt, but as an opportunity for growth. So, and that's why I wanted to ask you, like, what is for you like spirituality? Like,
because
what's the difference?
Spirituality is, that's what my therapist said. Spirituality is easy. Religion is hard. Because I was going through it. like I was breaking up with my religion too.
Yeah.
And I was like, especially being Latino and gay, you're like in this weird gray area. Like,
because you come out and you're like, you're going to hell.
I'm like, I'm
like,
going to hell.
So everything, like, what if you're a gay virgin that hasn't had sex and you've been an amazing person?
Yeah, like I'm that kind of is what pushed me to learn more. I was like, but what scriptures say that? Why? And like, who translated them? Who chose the word that? There's certain words that were chosen to mean something in English, like not just the translation, but like the word itself.
It's all strategic. You don't even know what's going on. They're doing it all behind.
That was one of the things that came really hard to me. And for me, spirituality is more about, because religion is actions that you have to take in order to get something. Spirituality is more about how you connect to the world in a way that like brings good.
How do you feel that you do that? Like
through art, like through this podcast, through like music.
You know, like I didn't think about it this much, but now that we're here sitting and talking about it, like I feel like it's such a huge factor. Just because, like, as it like I told you, like as a child, my childhood was shaped by religion, and my transitioning to adult, because there was a period that I was like a hardcore atheist, and they kind of helped me flex my muscle of like questioning things and being interested in about other things, which is like, you know, it's just I'm connecting a lot of dots. But also like what you were saying, like we've had this conversation about why you wanted to do this podcast, and the word was like you want it to be intentional, like and you told me the intentions, and it's like that's also like the beauty in adult, the purpose. Like with religion, your purpose is to go to heaven. And when you don't have religion, you really kind of have to dig in between. You have to dig deeper into like what is meaningful to you and how do you accomplish.
Right.
And that's religion. That's the most adult thing I can think of.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you've heard of this. There's this thing called like your Saturn return. That's part of my spirituality. Astrology is part of my spirituality.
Okay.
But like, a Saturn return is basically like every 30 years, Saturn, this planet of structure,
which I have none.
A structure, and like it's kind of like the dad of the zodiac.
And it's absent, and it's like every 30 years it shows up.
Every 30 years it goes into your room, and it's like, I gave you homework. Let me see the answers. It's time to check your answers. Right. And you have to grow. You have to kind of grow up. Around 28, 29, for like 3 years, Saturn is in your sign, in the sign that you are. Then it happens again in your 60s, in your 58, 59, 60, but it's not as intense. But your first Saturn return, usually there's like a time around that, something happens around that time that makes you grow up. Like it's like, it's time to grow up.
Is this like, and let me just adjust the mic. Is this Saturn return, is this like it's the same for everyone, or is it like depending
it depends on your sign, where it was on your chart when you were born,
and see
what planets were near it, like what house it's in, what sign. Like mine was like in Aquarius in the 9th house, which is like the house of religion, and which is funny because when I was going through that growing up moment, one of the things I had to like realize was I was like, what is my religion doing for the world around me, not just for me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What good is it if I get into quote unquote heaven if like I leave the world the way it was? And then like, what is my religion? Like, is this really what I want? Like I had to really dig in, and that's part of how I became an adult. Like
I've always like, I wish I would have, there was like the hardest things about adulthood. Like it's the stuff that nobody teaches you.
Right. Yeah.
Finances, you know, what is meaningful to you, what it's fulfilling. Like sometimes we think about, you go to school, you get a job, you get the house. You know, we have this general idea of
finances.
Success.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we really don't look within, like what is really fulfilling.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I struggled with the most, because I also think that like even the stuff that is like impacts you so much.
You was like a big adult thing.
Yeah. But also like, I also thought it was almost like ironic that like the things that really also impact your well-being, because like doing your taxes, budgeting, you know, having that financial discipline.
I'm
because
really bad at budgeting.
I'm horrible at it.
I'm bad at budgeting.
Like the fact that I'm like that I have a place and I have things and things get paid. And I'm not like, I know some people are like, oh, so shout out to my a friend. He has an Excel for everything, and he's got a breakdown. And then I'm just like, the level of organization, and anytime there's like
he has an Excel
for everything, like even like, oh, we're having friends over.
God
Here's the
bless that
Excel, here's
man.
the ingredients, and these are the people
That's
with value.
crazy.
Like, and it's I see how comforting it is to have order. And I cannot.
That's
to me
intense.
that was the hardest thing, like to be disorganized, because I'm very spontaneous. I'm very like creative, so it just, I don't have the mental capacities or structure, and my brain is not wired to be thinking like, well, if my bill is due this, and then I have my payment comes this, and I'm just, I don't know how I do it, but somehow I'm not, I have an apartment, I have things,
I don't know how
travel,
I do it either. I did go through a really hard financial time when I was like, I couldn't buy groceries.
Yeah.
And my friend sent me money, and my boyfriend did not. Like, I told my boyfriend, I was like, because I had something happen, and I was like, I don't have any money because I had to spend a bunch of money on this. I don't know how I'm going to eat tomorrow. And then my boyfriend was like, oh, that sucks. And my best friend was like, here's $20, here's $40.
Yeah.
Just send it back whenever you can. And I was like, that's when I knew that boyfriend wasn't shit. But like, I was like, he is not shit. Because I was like, literally, those $40 fed me for a week, and then I got paid, and I was like so happy. And I was like, man, fuck that man. But yeah, budgeting was definitely a lesson that I had to learn, and I'm better at it now.
And I think not a lot of people talk about it, and this is what I found very like interesting as far as like when we talking about adulting. Like, I think that was one of the brainstorming sort of like, what are the hardest things about adulthood? And it almost seems like it always revolves around money, because because you're on your own, like, and when you're a kid,
also taught that an adult handles money well.
Yes,
like if you don't have like a bunch of money, then you're not accomplished.
Were you shielded from, like, did you know if your parents, like, was that ever like were you aware like, oh, we're lacking, we have a little extra right now, or like we don't worry about it? Like, was it when you were a kid, were you conscious of that?
My dad was like a cook at a restaurant, and my mom was like worked at a dry cleaners, but they still made it work. Like, my dad had a lot of savings, and they would never buy me brand name stuff. I never gotten like, I wanted like the Nintendo 64 when it came out. They were like, no, we can't afford that. My dad would buy off-brand cereal. Like, it was like we didn't have that kind of, like, I had one pair of shoes the whole time. My mom would buy me one pair of shoes, and then I would wear them until they would fall apart, and then she'd be like, okay, time for another pair of shoes. Like, even when I was like, I want Converse, she was like, okay. She was like, but like, and it was like the only pair of shoes that I had, because she was like, those are like, just didn't. I wasn't like my cousins who had like all the latest like games and like brand name clothes and stuff. My mom was like, no, you can get a job when you get older, you can pay for that. But yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember my mom saying that thing, like, when if you want, when you get a job, and it's actually, as far as like,
and then when I got a job, like I said before, I had to pay for all my shit.
Yeah,
like it was like my school supplies, like everything I had to pay. Like,
that's kind of like, when I started working, it was no longer, it wasn't my money. Meaning, it was my money, I earned it, but I was, and this is, I think my family did a great job at like having like, not only like passing on like amazing work ethic, but also she was also like, I think we had this like, and I think it's very unique to our community, that we have this collective sense. So once I started earning money, then it was like I would bring in stuff home.
Yeah.
You kind of help lift a little bit of the weight. And that was, in a way, it was like, you're kind of like, it's my money, but then it feels good.
Like, to be one of the things about being an adult that a lot of people are really bad at, especially a lot of like famous people, or just everyone, what I've noticed is like really bad at taking accountability. And it's like, I had to learn that. And it was a little hard.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be wrong. Nobody wants to be wrong. Everybody gets all defensive when they're wrong. And it's like, I had to, one of the things, I'm really proud of myself, girl, because like, especially with my last breakup, like, I told all my friends everything I did wrong. I told all my friends.
You didn't tell me? No.
Bitch, well, I barely see you because I'm in Dallas.
I know.
But I told all my friends everything I did wrong. I told my therapist, I was completely honest with her about the things I did fucked up in, the things he fucked up in. And she was like, this is a big deal. She was like, because like you're taking accountability for everything that you're doing and you're choosing to grow. And she was like, did he? And I was like, and she was like, But I was like, but it's like, it's hard. Like, part of being an adult is being like, I'm wrong. Or like, oh shit, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. Or like, just being like, oh, I did this and it hurt you. And even though I don't get why it would hurt you, I still acknowledge that I hurt you. And a lot of people are really bad at that.
For me, it was the opposite. I think I was doing that. Like, I feel like I've always done that. What I find hard as an adult is to hold people accountable.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I'm good at that.
Like, for example, well, I mean, and I feel like I'm getting the hang of it because it's better to be on this side, but it's almost like, you know, I'm very empathetic, so sometimes I feel like I have to now I'm in a position that I'm gonna have to make you face how you made me feel or what you're doing, and you're gonna feel bad about it. And I get like, I'm like, it's gonna be tough for you, but like, not,
really
I'm accepting like this is the right thing to do. And it's tough and it's inconvenient.
I mean, for me, it's more like when haters, I didn't talk about this yesterday, but like when, like if somebody sends me like a hate message, here's the thing, y'all. If y'all are going to send me a message on my Instagram and talk shit to me, say something racist or like bigoted,
you get that?
Or you're gonna, or you're gonna like you're gonna be rude to me, or you catch me most of the time, I post it on my story and I don't hide the name. And I explain exactly, I have the receipts. I always keep receipts. I'm like, because the way, and people have said some racist things to me. And I
think I remember looking up the person and I was like,
and they blocked me.
You had it coming.
They blocked me and I'm like, here's what I believe. If you're going to say it behind closed doors, you need to be able to say it out loud. And I will fucking post it. Yes. I only don't post it when it's somebody like, when it's something like, if they have my respect, like if they're not mean, if they don't mean to be rude or they don't mean to be like, but if they're just being like straight up like malicious, I'm like, no. Everyone's gonna see this side of you, boo. And because I think everyone needs to be, I think you need to be able to hold yourself accountable. And if you don't, then I will. Like, because I've told my therapist shit that I'm embarrassed to say. Like, I'm embarrassed to tell her.
You just told us you walked into a place and you farted and you were, so this is like, I'm just curious in my little head. I'm like, what would it be? Something you'd be embarrassed for? Like,
just things. Yeah. Like, I'm like, I did this petty shit and now I feel bad. I did this to like, you know what I mean?
Like, being spiteful and stuff? Like,
I'm not embarrassed. I'm just ashamed. You know, like with my ex, like things that I said to him, like when I was angry, like things that I'm ashamed to tell people. But I know that if I don't talk about it in therapy, then I can't fix it. That's one of the things that.
What did you say? I'm just kidding.
No, we're not.
No, we'll save that for an episode. No, I'm kidding. But are you thinking about like, you know, we're talking about adulthood. Are you getting at that age where you're like, oh, I'm an adult, and all of a sudden you start thinking like, holy shit, like it's gonna keep going. Like you have to plan ahead. I'm scared for that. Like, think about retirement. Like, am I gonna be working?
Oh my God, that's so stressful. I don't want to talk about that.
Retirement
is just so stressful. I've had coworkers try to talk to me about that, and I just changed the subject.
I had someone ask me like, and also this is more specific to people our generation or younger will get this, but like I got someone ask me this stupid ass question. where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I'm like, I hope alive, because it's the planet is burning.
I get so stressed
You
out
know,
when
like,
people
there's
ask
just-
they're like, "What are you doing for your retirement?" I'm like,
I'm
"Oh
like,
my
hopefully not fighting for
God."
water.
I'm so stressed. That stresses me
Like,
out.
I don't think people realize like the severity of things going on, where it's like asking someone to be like, look, I'm just happy to be here. I hope I'm here tomorrow, and hope I'm here in the next 5 years.
Now I'm stressed out. I need to go jack off. That's how, like, I get whenever.
Like stress relief.
So it's What are some other things that, I mean, traveling by myself has become easy for me. That's an adult thing to do. I like traveling by myself. But another thing that I struggle with is driving. I struggle with driving. Because I'm a bad driver. I own up to it. I've learned to just accept it. But I'm trying to get better because I'm old, bitch. Like, once you get older, if you get in a car wreck, you could die. You know?
I mean,
or like really hurt yourself.
Yeah,
like,
we're becoming. I feel fragile now. I can't imagine.
One
like
of the things I was gonna say. Like
when you're like 90, you could break your hip taking a shit. Like I'm not looking forward to that.
One of the things that I find that I have had to learn that they don't teach you is how to like let go of things I can't control. I have dealt with destruction a lot throughout my life, like things like falling apart or like not working out or like just like having to start all over, or having to like, you know, just kind of like transform myself, like losing my religion, finding something different. Like all of that stuff is pretty normal for that. And like one of the things I've had to learn is let go. Like let the world take me where it's taking me.
Can you repeat how you started this state? You said the quote, accept the things I cannot. Was that which phrase
just let go of things I can't control.
Let go of things. Yes. Sorry, I was
because it's really hard. And like I don't think we talk about that enough. Like it's so hard to like
accept that you have no control over some things.
Certain things. And I'm picky too. I'm a little bit of a control freak. You know that. Like,
and I am also.
With this podcast, like I'll be like,
oh, he's like,
I'm like,
you guys should see this. It's like I get here and I'm just like, you know, I like you do most of the like, even because he pays attention to like details. The lights, this, and then like the table that, and I'm like, I just show up and I have things to say, and
I'm over here telling Dan, I'm like, Dan, could you like move the phone a little bit like this, or like can I need to make sure that I'm like this. Like I literally will get up like 4 times to check the phone to make sure that to check the camera to make sure that it's like perfect
for those,
and the lighting has to be right. And then yesterday we kind of messed up the lighting because I didn't pay attention. And I was like, today I have to pay attention.
But see, I'm thinking like also my mind is like there's the audio version, the podcast, then we have the video version. So I understand you have to keep, but I think it's also like when I watch podcast or you know, YouTube or people like interview, I'm never like, oh, that lighting was kind of fucked.
But the thing is,
I know exactly.
You can't tell.
I can tell. Yeah, no.
And so when I watch podcasts and I see something's off, I'm like, ooh, they didn't get that right. And so that's how and I'm also, if I'm passionate about something, bitch, like I will
check a basic ass podcast. Just like I was just listening to this one yesterday and I was washing dishes and this girl was just asking questions very robotic. And she was like, whenever she had a guest and the guy was actually very insightful and she would just be like, oh, that's interesting. And then and then I was like, you're just like, you could have just gone so much. So I think I'm more, I know you're on everything, but I guess it's like my, you know, well, I guess because you edit and do all this stuff, it's like I'm not thinking about it. So it's not in my.
Yeah, you don't, bitch. Yeah. So you're welcome.
Yeah, no, so great job. But you know, it's also like.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, because listen, you don't want me to get, because I would be. Trust me,
Omar
you wouldn't
so
want
funny.
me.
No, wait. This is actually really funny because like Omar was like, send me videos so I can make memes. And I was like, this man does not realize how much work this is. And I was like, I gave him a couple of like the original videos
and
for him to make memes.
No.
And he hasn't even touched them because it's hard work.
Yeah,
it takes a while.
No, the stuff that realize. Also the stuff that, like, for example, the stuff or clips that I think of myself as the talent. No, and I mean it because when and how because in my job, it's all detail. It's like to the millimeter. It's like
because you make jewelry,
and that's why this
right?
is
You make jewelry,
and this is fun because you also don't want me to be like you're like, oh, the light. I'm like, actually no, I think the shadow, and you don't want that because I'm also very controlling, but I like being in control, but letting go of control sometimes
like, and that goes back to that what I was saying, and it was like it's hard for me sometimes to just be like to just roll with the punches, right. But I've gotten better at it because because I've taught myself to, like, I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm very spiritual and I have a very strong intuition, and I used to not listen to it, and I used to be like for example, I'd be like, oh my God, it's getting late, I'm not going to make it to the party, but I'm going to make myself go anyway. And then I would go, even though in my gut was like, you probably shouldn't go. It's getting late. Don't go anymore. And I would go and something bad would happen. And so I've learned to listen to my gut. And I've also learned that when things start going crazy, like if I go out and I have a bad day, I left one time I like tried to go to the coffee shop to do some work on my laptop and I forgot my charger. My laptop died. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go to the gym. I went to the gym. I forgot my headphones. And then I was like, I don't want to work out without headphones. I have leg day today. And then I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to go I went to go do something. I was like, I'm going to go to the bank to deposit these checks that I got. I forgot my wallet at home. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go. I give up. I think the universe is just telling me to rest.
So
I'm just going to go home and I'm going to chill. And that's what I did. And so I was like, there's just times where like things are falling apart all around you. I'm like, I've just learned that sometimes you just have to let them fall apart. And you can't try to save them. Because then you end up fucking it up even more.
Yeah. Did you grow up with a lot of control when you were a kid?
Yeah, my mom was really controlling.
Yes. I think that's why I also like being in control, because there were things about my childhood that I looked around and I was like, I don't think people really know what they're doing. So I was really like, I was at the mercy of the adults around me, and it was fine, but I think I think my expectations were really high. So that's a great thing about me being an adult, is that now I'm like, life can be as comfortable or as uncomfortable as I want it to be, because it's up to me, and the things that I cannot control, obviously we work on it. But do you have this sense of like, as an adult, like this pressure of like always being productive? Like you forgot this, like things are not going your way and the universe is trying to tell you to like, just like, to me, I find hard. Do you find hard to sometimes just be like, I don't need to be productive. My apartment doesn't need to be spotless. Can I just chill, echar hueva, like rascarme un huevo like not do nothing? It's hard for me to do that, but
not me.
And it's very normal.
Really good.
It should be normalized.
I'm very good at resting. My ex used to tell me that. Because he works a lot. Like he works a lot. And I'd be like, I'm gonna take today off and I'm just gonna stay in bed all day. And he'd be like, how do you do that? Like, I need to be productive. I'm like, not me. Like, I know when I'm like, I haven't had a rest day in a long time, y'all. But in the past, when I could have rest days, I would be like, I'm gonna just stay in bed all day and jack off and watch movies, maybe have a hookup over, and then like I'll be productive tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yes. Sorry, I feel like now it's me. Like I felt something.
I was like, are you okay?
No, it was like, because I was like, the mic is gonna pick it up.
It's the cum bubbles.
Yeah. It's the sparkling bubble. I don't drink that.
You don't drink cum. I do.
Yeah.
But from the tap. We've talked
from the
about
tap,
this before.
and you know what?
I just need to reiterate it because I don't want anybody hearing
I
this.
didn't know that
thinking,
was a thing. Like people referring to swallowing as like, oh, straight from the tap.
I mean, nobody else did until I did.
Yeah. So just like top fishing, we're just like trendsetters, So if you see someone like saying something we did,
we
just
are.
Like,
people have copied us. We're not going to talk about that. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that.
We're not calling anyone out. We love you, but
y'all owe me though. You should probably send me money. So,
do you have any tips?
What are some things you miss about childhood?
Oh, childhood.
I made a list.
Oh,
I'm going to read mine first.
Go ahead.
Shitting wherever I want and not like not having a problem, you know? I miss yelling at people for no reason. I miss hurting myself without feeling like I'm going to die. Because like
hurting yourself?
Yes. Because when we hurt ourselves now, when you're in your okay, I don't know if whoever's listening to this, if you're about to turn 30 or you're not 30 yet, please know that after you're 30, you cannot hurt yourself. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I dropped the weight on my foot. Haha. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, things break. And like, your body isn't like, my roommate hurt himself. He like got in don't even ask about this. He got in a physical fight, and then the guy rolled on his ankle and he was like, I'm fine. And I was like, Jesse, you need to go to the fucking
till tomorrow.
doctor. You're not 30. You're not 20. You're 30. You're almost 40. Like, you go to he didn't listen. And then finally it wasn't getting better. He went to the doctor and they were like, oh, it was fractured. And I was like, I told you, bitch, you're not in your 20s. You gotta you could die.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just like, I dropped the weight on my finger and then I broke it. Remember that? I had a broken finger for a while. I think we weren't recording at the time, but like,
no, but I
broke
remember
my
you,
finger.
yeah.
And I miss not knowing anything about politics. Like, well, you know, when you didn't have to think about that.
For me, what I miss as a child, and this might be a little, I feel like this is going a little dark, not dark, but like when I look back at my childhood, like I just miss having all my family around. Like, that's the fondest memories that I have. Like, just all my uncles, all my cousins, all my grandparents, like my dad, you know, like that was just, I miss having that everybody was around, you know. Now as an adult, like, not everybody, you know, it's less of it. There might be more of us, but there's less of us. Yes.
Aww.
Also the innocence, you know, like looking at the world through eyes of like, just everything was possible. Like, when you're a kid, like everything was an option. There was no the harsh realities of like capitalism, or, you know. Yeah, that's why I also miss being a child, because I was, you know, unemployment is great. Like, you don't have to work. Like, your only responsibility was like, you know, you have to make sure you color within the lines. And I think but we should sorry, can I just say something really quick? Because I saw something today that pissed me the fuck off. Some influencer or some guy, I don't fucking nobody, made a comment about, and I don't even want to point out who, but she's a famous Colombian artist who has kids, and she's separated from her husband, and now this guy felt comfortable to say, like, did you see how this kid has mannerisms, and it's because he doesn't have a present dad.
Wow.
And it just pissed me the fuck off, because I'm like, let kids be kids. Like, when we're talking about adulting, like, we have to remember, like, we have, you know, we were all kids once, and we should keep that in mind when we're talking about, first of all, don't talk about anybody's kids. But I just thought it was so insensitive, just so intrusive to be able to that he's comfortable talking about mannerisms of a child, and it's basically sexualizing a child.
Yeah.
And it's just something that I think needs to be said, like, when we talk about being adulthood and like the transitioning, like, whenever us as adults, if there's kids around, just keep in mind, like, the influence and the example that we're giving.
So, adulting tips for gays.
Yes.
Adulting tips
Did you
for
say
the gays.
assaulting tips?
Adulting tips.
Okay, I was like,
for the gays.
Yes. I would say and this is, I'd like to say, don't spend like you're gonna die tomorrow, but also don't save like you're gonna live another 50 years. I would just say, just save $20 a week or a month. Don't ever touch that. Just keep something where it's like you're $10. Keep it somewhere. Just don't ever touch it. Just
here's what I wanted to say, and this is like number one on my list. If you're gay and you're an adult, read something about oppression. Read books about the systems in the world around you. Capitalism, oppression, racism, ableism, transphobia, homophobia. Read about the history. Read about if all you read about is fictional stories, and and self-help, and you don't read about the ways in which other people around you are suffering, the ways in which you are causing that suffering, or you are part of a system that's causing suffering, or other systems of suffering that are affecting you, you cannot help yourself.
I would say also diversify, and not just diversify your income. Like, think about, different streamlines to bring more income to your life, but also diversify your experiences where you travel. Don't stick to the same things. Diversify your groups of friends. Have friends in different age groups. Be open to anything, because sometimes I feel like once we grow up and we become adults, sometimes you tend to like stick to what you think that's where you belong. You found your place.
Right. Yeah.
Keep expanding that.
Life is about tasting everything and doing. Also, trauma-informed therapy. I recommend that for everyone. I know therapy is kind of a hard one to like. Therapy is a hard thing to like. Therapy's hard to like. Sometimes we don't have the money, the finances, the reach. Some of our jobs have organizations that help us or have programs that help us get therapy for free. There's therapy that's sliding scale. That means that they charge you according to like according to how much money you make a year. So definitely look into therapy, y'all. Also go to Aldi's.
Aldi's has.
Oh, but not just any therapy. Trauma therapy. It has to be trauma informed, or else it's going to be really hard for you to heal. And I'll leave it there. But go to Aldi's.
I would say learn proper lifting postures. So like, you're going to need this. This is going to be very useful.
Rack your fucking weights. You're an adult.
Yes, no, but
rack your not just fucking weight.
Not just the gym, but just like, you're going to pick up boxes. You're going to...
Your fucking weights. I'm fucking tired of it.
You just had a gym bro moment.
What's that?
A gym bro moment. Like,
I just...
Yeah,
when
just
you go to the library...
Have manners. Well, I guess it's the ages-old command. Like, you play with your toys, put them back.
You put the toys back.
Basically.
Put the toys back.
Also,
and go to Aldi's because they're cheap. And if you're on a budget, you're an adult. Go to Aldi's. Yeah.
And I'd also say always look forward. I think a lot of people, we start, as you get older, you start to romanticize the past or look at the past. And my advice is just to keep looking forward, see what's next, because the future is coming. The past is no longer in the present.
Yeah. And cry as much as you can.
Not in front of me,
just cry. My therapist was like, crying is one of the healthiest ways to show your emotions. Anger can, if you let it go too far, it can be bad.
I have.
She was like, but you can cry. If you can cry, it's like the healthiest.
Yeah.
Cry. I cry all the time. I cried the other day because I was listening to "Breakaway" by Kelly Clarkson. I cried the other day because what else have I cried? I've cried for a lot of different things. Yeah.
I can't remember the last time
I cried when I yawn.
Oh, but that's like a body function, right?
Yeah, but I still count.
It's like,
I'm a Pisces moon.
Yeah. Being an adult is great. It's a lot of work. It's a job you can't quit. But
but you can
accept it. You're getting older. Yeah,
everyone.
And actually that is very true. Like, a lot of people get older, they lose.
One of the things that really changed my life. One time there was this guy at work.
Bandcamp.
He was in, and we were at lunch, and he was like yelling, like he was talking really loud to this other girl. But I was like, but he always talks like that. And I was like, why are you? I was like, Jonathan. I haven't talked to him in forever, but I was like, Jonathan, why are you yelling? You yell for everything. And I was like, why do you always yell? And he was like, 'cause who's gonna spank me? And I was like,
ooh, time out.
And then I was like, well, that's a good point.
Yeah, but
so now, whenever I do something that I feel self-conscious about, but that it's not hurting anyone,
gonna spank me?
I always tell myself, but who's gonna spank me? And I'm like, nobody. No one's gonna hit me. So then I just don't care. That's how I just don't give a fuck about things.
Yeah.
Just like, who's gonna spank me? Nobody.
Life.
I pay my own bills.
Bills.
Okay.
Bills. That's
But
yeah.
it.
That's
Thank you so
adulthood.
much
Bills.
for listening.
Yes, and
All right. Bye.
bye.